politics, and more with John Brown and Nick Durst, live on the UCY.TV network.
Spamming your radios coast to coast and all around the globe. It's sports, politics, and more. I'm your host, Nick Durst. Welcome to the show, everyone. We have a huge show for you. If you want to get involved in the discussion, just write to us in the UCY lobby chat. We'll read your comments there. Or give us a call at 1-718-717-8296. Or you can tweet me at Nick_Durst. Coming up very shortly, we have the phenomenal one, AJ Pollock, Andrew Jason Pollock, with the 10 at 10. You're going to love this, fans. The top 10 celebrities that need to shut up and get lost. So leave your comments now or tweet them, and we'll read yours off as well. We're also going to discuss the very controversial Beauty and the Beast movie. We also have to discuss WWE Fastlane and head into WrestleMania. 30 for 30, Mike and the Mad Dog. Another thing, Mike Francesa had a woman coach in the pros. We will have to see. And of course, the World Baseball Classic. But first, we start off with some major breaking news. Alex Rodriguez, former MLB baseball player, now Fox Sports baseball analyst, is dating singer and actress Jennifer Lopez. Just call him J-Rod or A-Lo. Whatever you want to call him. Either way, this is an A-bomb from A-Rod. The former Yankees slugger, Alex Rodriguez, and Jason Lopez are dating, as Page 6 has exclusively confirmed, so check it out, page6.com. A source said of the new couple, the new power couple that is, they've been seeing each other for a few months and were together in LA this past weekend. And keep in mind, A-Rod's a reporter for Fox now, they're based out of LA. They're really into each other because they have so much in common, from their Latin roots to the love of New York and their kids. And believe it or not, A-Rod was reportedly spotted backstage at one of Jennifer Lopez's recent Las Vegas gigs. And Page 6 also exclusively reported that Rodriguez and his recent girlfriend, Silicon Valley CEO, and Wojcicki, broke up after dating for just under a year. J-Lo was reportedly having a fling with Drake. We don't know if that was confirmed or not. Maybe Drake's with Nicki Minaj now or Rihanna. Who knows? And reps for both A-Rod and Jennifer Lopez declined to comment. So let's get your thoughts on that as well. Once again, give us a call. 1-718-717-8296. Major breaking news there. Or give us a tweet I'm at Nick_Durst. And you could also comment in the UCY lobby chat. So once again, major breaking news. Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez are dating, for those of you that care. And someone that definitely does care has got to be none other than the phenomenal one, our field reporter. And let's get him on the call now prior to the 10 at 10. That way, our phenomenal field reporter, Andrew Jason Pollock, can give us his thoughts on the major breaking news. And that way we can see what the pulse of the people is out there with this and other news as well. And when we get him up, another thing to discuss.
Oh my God!
Here he is, Andrew. What do you think of the breaking news, Andrew?
Oh, first of all, who cares?
All right, and second of all,
I got news.
Gorilla.
Yes, Brandon Marshall's on the Giants.
all right, so that's the other big news today. Brandon Marshall signed to the Giants, a cheap 2-year deal, $6 million per year. The Giants definitely have the top wide receiving corps in all of football now. Brandon Marshall, though, he wanted to stay in New York for a particular reason. That's why he took less money, like he said. It's because he has to do his Inside the NFL show every Tuesday on HBO, is it, or Showtime? So he had to be close to New York. So he stayed in New York, and now he gets to play with Odell Beckham Jr., which is going to be fantastic for him and for Odell. Andrew, what are your thoughts on this? You think it really helps the Giants out a lot? Because I do.
Well, the first thing I had to wonder going into this offseason, because keeping in mind the NFL free agency doesn't start till tomorrow at 3 o'clock, my first thought was, were the Giants going to go after a wide receiver? Now, I was thinking, okay, Garcon's going to want a lot of money. He's not going to want to come here. So maybe Jerry Reese thought, we can get the gorilla to come to the Giants, right?
I gotta stop you here. Where are you getting gorilla from with Brandon Marshall? It's not his nickname. No one calls him that.
Oh my God! Mike Francesa!
He didn't call him the gorilla, though.
Mike Francesa!
But he didn't call him the gorilla, so why are you making this nickname up?
Gorilla.
Because that's what the people are doing in my community.
No one is doing this. You're making these up. You're giving everybody fake news.
Did you hear Francesa yesterday?
I heard some of his show, but he didn't call Brandon Marshall a gorilla.
No. A fan called him gorilla.
No, a fan said to the Giants go after the gorilla. And that was it. And he said, you're a clown. And Otto says to you, I'm tired of you white people doing white people shit. So that's at you for with the your little gorilla joke. But do you like the signing or not?
Overall, let's be professional here. Okay? I think we should before Otto gets pissed off in the chat. Yeah, I really thought that for the wide receiver need, they took care of it. I'm glad they already got it done. But my main concern is, and if John were on, he'd agree with me, what's going to happen to the O-line? What's going to happen if Eric Flower is not going to be on the offensive line? They need to address the offensive line.
Listen, Eric Flowers is a disaster, and they would be better off with the gorilla playing off a left tackle than Eric Flowers. So hopefully in the draft, they can go after they get a left tackle. Check out EliteSportsNewYork.com for some great draft insight by Phil Mike Renselberg, aka Michael Rochman. He's a great draft insider. And you can also check out the Mets podcast, the Mets cast in the future, which is a Mets podcast hosted by John Bryan and myself on a weekly basis. Definitely look for that. But Andrew, the time's creeping up on us, so why don't you tell everybody what time it is?
And now it's time for the Spam 10 at 10 with Andrew Pollock.
Well, as Nick said earlier, and this is a really big 10 at 10 this week, we are going to be talking about celebrities who need to keep their mouths shut.
Yes, this is a very big list. in the sense of the fact that it's not very long. It's always 10. But it's the top 10 celebrities that have to get lost and shut up. We're sick and tired of hearing you pushing your political agendas for no reason. You have no right to be saying this stuff for the most part. So, Andrew's going to give us the list, but we want you to chime in. So either give us a call, 718-717-8296, or write in the chat, and we want to know, what are your thoughts? Who do you agree with on his list, and who do you think needs to get lost on your own? And you make your own personal list if you want. So Andrew, without further ado, take it away, and don't be rushing through this because it's a very good list.
Yeah, it's really good because these are people that have really really irritated me because I really don't care about how celebrities talk about politics. I could care less. This is why I made up this list. And not to mention,
before you get the list started, I want you to give everybody a little criteria on how these people ended up on your list.
well, again, the majority of it was they could never shut up about politics, and they're forcing one point of view down your throat, obviously. But one guy on the list particularly actually is anti-Semitic.
Terrible. All right, take it away. As usual, 10-1.
And the rules always are, Nick and John are always allowed to respond. By the way, Nick, where is John?
John is attending to a doctor's appointment that started at 7:45, so hopefully we get John on by the end of the show, but no guarantees. You know how they are out in New Jersey. It's a whole different world. They're a lot slower. They're not New Yorkers. They can't get things done quickly. But we will see. Hopefully we get John by the end of the program.
Yeah, well, let's stay on the list because, again, our listeners are going to get impatient. Number 10, filmmaker Michael Moore.
Michael Moore, very controversial guy. Why don't you give a little background as to why or how he ended up on your list?
Well, he's a hypocrite, and John would know where I'm going with this. He basically held up a sign, I think last year during the election in front of Trump Tower, and it said, "We are all Muslim." And he's a hypocrite because he actually is very rich himself. The guy has a mansion, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I mean, this famous director gets a lot of movies, so obviously he's very wealthy. And he's just not too smart of a guy. And I have to agree with you. He definitely deserves to be on the list. And thus, he's on the list at number 10. All right, number 9. Keep it going.
Guess what, Michael? You just made the list.
Very nice. Do it for all of them.
All right.
Say that for every single person.
Number 9, Rosie O'Donnell. You just made the list.
Ooh, Rosie. All right, let's hear a little background behind that.
Okay, Rosie O'Donnell. Wow, I have a lot to say about this woman. So basically, what's that phone dialing?
We have a caller here, so we're trying to get him through on the hold here. But continue, Andrew.
Okay, because for a second I thought WikiLeaks was monitoring this conversation.
WikiLeaks is taking. Go ahead. Explain Rosie.
Okay, so here's the story about Rosie O'Donnell. Basically, she's well known for her liberal views, and she basically likes to slam Trump, and this has been going on for a decade now. But the real reason why Rosie O'Donnell is on this list, and I can't stand her, she is a terrible mother.
Why do you say she's a terrible mother? We have no way to say that.
Voicemail that has not been set up yet.
Okay,
Goodbye.
that just got me distracted for a second.
So obviously our caller, they're
Let's
having some phone issues for themselves. All right, continue. Sorry about that, Andrew.
Yeah, so basically this happened last year, and she was tweeting about it. And let me make sure I have the correct information because, here it is, 2015 story. Comedian Rosie O'Donnell's teenage daughter was found safe, obviously, because, let's just say Rosie wasn't keeping an eye on her daughter.
Wow, that's pretty terrible.
Let me make sure I have the information so that way, you can cite me if I'm correct or not. But this is from Fox News, and I hope everybody remembers the story because I was really into it when Rosie's daughter was missing. Again, I remember this very well. This was August 2015. Media was talking about it because again, Rosie went on a whole Twitter raid about it.
Yikes. All right, so we'll share that with the people in the chat. And now we keep it going here. Next on the list.
Now let's continue because I'm going to read this while I'm talking. So, number 7. Wait a minute. Stupid phone call, you got me between the... Okay, let's...
What are you talking about, Andrew?
Number 8. Samuel L. Jackson.
All right, Samuel L. Jackson. He's been really tweeting crazy stuff as of late, but elaborate a little.
All right. So recently, Sam has been a liberal, and that's not the worst of it. Recently, an online article revealed that Sam Jackson hates white people.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so I think my dad was telling me about it, that he was reading it online. Let me make sure I have my right source, because you know me, I like to make sure I'm doing this correctly. Sam Jackson.
Old report or new report?
White people. Hang on. I have it right here. I have it right
Everyone's waiting very impatiently.
Samuel L. Jackson tells Muslim America is full of white supremacists. There we go. Found it. So basically, Sam Jackson was frightening Muslims by telling Muslims that America has too many white supremacists. This is what my dad was telling me. Here's the right one from downtrend.com.
All right, so read the story.
All right, let me read it. It's loading. Wait for it to load. Because here's the problem with my computer, Nick. My computer takes so long to load these web pages, and John has been telling me, "Oh, you shouldn't be using Google Chrome," and blah blah. Yeah, okay, here it is. Liberal pain in the ass actor Sam Jackson had threatened to leave the United States if Donald J. Trump won the presidency. And like all liberal hypocritical liars, went back on that when it happened. Sorry. Instead, the actor had decided that he will keep his U.S. citizenship and badmouth the country to the rest of the world. For a Muslim audience in Dubai, Sam Jackson said that America is full of white supremacists that elected a white supremacist president. And he also said about the Oscars so white controversy, and he
Buenos dias.
Oh, Andrew, we have our caller on the line, and it's none other than Otto.
What's up, gentlemen?
Otto, thank you for coming on. We somehow were able to call you. I called you earlier.
It's the magic of electricity. It really is. It's like I saw a film in like 6th grade science class, and it had like arrows and stuff. And this is where we're at now. We are the product of arrows on a screen.
Listen, there's some serious issues wrong with the Skype call-in accounts for UCY TV. So hopefully that gets fixed. Make UCY TV phone call line great again. But Otto,
I tried to get Jules fired and tried to get Trump to take over UCY because he would make UCY great again. And Jules is just she's a girl. Come on now. Come on now.
You know Trump would have gave us like 100,000 new phone numbers to work out. So
well, not only that, every one of our phone numbers would have had an associated topless model with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm assuming you want to call and chime in on Andrew's list here about celebrities need to shut the hell up.
No. Andrew needs to shut the hell up all the time. Just because Andrew is 21. That's it. That's the only reason. And he's from New York. But that's it. But that's the only reason. But it's okay. We're going to let that slide because everybody has to learn in life that we can't always be 21 and from New York. There's a lot of country to fly over. I'm serious. There's at least between like the capital of the East and the capital of the West, there's like 2,500 miles to fly over. And you know what they do there? They grow corn. They grow a lot of corn there. Corn, white women, and guns. That's what they grow in that area.
Now, Otto, are you from Texas?
I am. Dude, where else am I going to be from? Come on now.
All right. So obviously Texas, great state. They know their politics out there. They're not going to
good
for
senator.
super crazy
Ted
people.
Cruz is awesome.
Say it again?
Ted Cruz is awesome. Be thankful you have.
Dude, you're wrong, dude. Ted Cruz is a moron. Listen, you want to go on something with Ted Cruz? Remember that Ted Cruz said he was going to ride this bitch all the way to the end. He was going to ride that horse until he died. And then guess what? Trump said, I think Ted Cruz's dad shot Kennedy. And guess what? 12 hours later, Ted Cruz brought out 4 rabbis and a great big red flag, and he said, shut it down. Ted Cruz, for 3 months, was going to take this thing all the way to the end, and the minute that Trump said that Cruz's dad shot Kennedy and showed the picture, 12 hours later, Cruz shut it down. Yeah, Cruz is dirty. Fuck that dude. And besides that, he got big fucking ears. No. I vote no Ted Cruz.
Do you think Ted Cruz is going to run in 4 years? I think he is.
I would hope to God that Ted Cruz runs over the border to Mexico and never comes back.
Oof.
I think Ted Cruz is worse than prostate cancer.
Yikes! Well, let's hear your thoughts on
I don't like Ted Cruz at all. I think Ted Cruz is number one. Ted Cruz is married to a managing director of Goldman Sachs who took just a convenient leave of absence the minute he started to run for president. No, fuck him. No. Ted Cruz, he's the same thing. He's the same thing except for he got a great big cross on his jacket. Yeah, no.
All right.
Ted Cruz is out.
That was the best Ted Cruz diss I ever heard.
I didn't vote for Ted Cruz. I'm sure you didn't vote for Ted Cruz. Andrew probably didn't vote for Ted Cruz. And obviously, not a lot of people voted for Ted Cruz. So that goes to tell you.
I will say that I did vote for Trump. I did vote. I played within the system because number one, gentlemen, I think if you think you have any kind of voice in the system, you're lying to yourself. You are lying to yourself more than if you thought that Iron Man was going to help the tooth fairy get to collect your tooth and give you the $2 before the Goldman Sachs monster came in and got it. You're lying to yourself. The only reason I voted for Trump is because it was the loudest, most visible, most audible voice to say, fuck you, Hillary.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Honest to God, whatever Trump does at this point, Trump could set 4 kitty cats on fire on the front line of the White House, and I'd be cool with it. Whatever. At least he gave a press conference 2 days before that said, "I'm going to light kittens on fire." I'm cool with that. At least I don't want to hear Hillary coming up to the same 4 kittens on fire and telling us that I got to bomb Iran because Iran has been 26 years away from a nuclear missile for the last 6 months or something like that. I mean 6 months away from a nuclear missile for the last 26 years. That's BS. That's BS. If Iran makes oil, right? Oil is money. They've been making oil for longer than the last 2 weeks. If Iran wanted a nuclear missile, how come they didn't buy one from one of them failed Russian states?
Listen, Hillary is full of shit. We all know that. And the crazier thing is that
Dude,
Hillary
the whole
supporters-
system is full of shit. The whole system is full of shit. That's the problem. The whole
is
system is
that
full of
Hillary
shit.
and all of her supporters are surprised that Trump is doing what he said he was going to do in the campaign trail. Why is that such a shock to them?
Because they're not used to anybody doing what they say they will do.
Right. And
that's why. They're used to the lie.
They should want to trust these people. They should say, oh, this is good that someone is doing what they said they're going to do, instead of empty promises like,
yeah, but whatever he said he's going to do is going to be racist. It's racist, though. It's racist. It's bigoted. It hurts the children. It's not good for the environment. Whenever Trump talks, icebergs melt, dude. I swear to God, I saw it on CNN. Chris Cuomo.
Yeah, and whenever Trump talks, the stock market also goes up. So I don't think he's doing such a terrible job in that sense.
Well, you know what? You just made a very interesting point. Trump opens his mouth, and the stock market goes up. Let's go back 3 months. Hillary opens her mouth, and her approval points went down. Every time Hillary opened her mouth, her approval points went down 3 points. Her poll numbers went down 3 points.
The stock market's been going down the past couple days. The fact that Dow went down 69 points.
It's still up overall, Andrew.
Holy cow, we're down 69 points off of 21,000. Let's do some percentages on that, man.
Come on, Andrew.
We're off like 0.2%. We're off like 0.2%. And if you really want to take it back just to the day he was elected, dude, we're off like nothing. That's like a fart in a bathtub.
Absolutely. Otto's right here. Otto's right. Otto, while we have you on, what's your thoughts on the Secretary of Energy, Rick Perry?
I think Rick Perry is a goober, and I'm glad he is no longer the state of Texas's responsibility. Now he's the responsibility of all 50 states. I'm sorry, y'all fuckers deserve him. Look, isn't it funny that like Rick Perry, when he was running for president and he had that little the debate, and Rick Perry, which 3 offices would you like to close? And the one he could not remember is the one that he's put in charge of. Fuck yeah, vote for Rick Perry, whatever. He's got nice hair.
What do you think about Rick being on Dancing with the Stars? What's up with that? He shouldn't have run that show.
And look, dude, he went to Texas A&M, and he was a cheerleader. All right? Ooh. Now, I ain't saying nothing bad about nobody, but I live in Texas, and if you told me that your brother went to Texas A&M, I go, yeah, that's cool. And then you told me your brother went to Texas A&M and he was a cheerleader, and I would say, well, how is his purse designing company going right now? I'm sure he's a very, very nice interior decorator. How is his husband, the Bangladeshi doctor, doing? Whatever. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me, man. The boy can smoke pole all he wants. I just don't want him to smoke pole and blow it in my face. And that's what he does down here. I mean, he sold off the highways to Spain. I mean, look, we're Texas, man. Like from my house going west, I'm 9 hours before I leave this state. From my house going east, I'm 7.5 hours before leaving this state. If I go north, I'm about 8 hours before I leave this state. If I go south, I'm about 5 minutes from the water. Okay, so I need highways. This entire state needs highways. And that motherfucker sold it off to the King of Spain. He robbed everybody. Do you know how much gas is spent in Texas?
I would assume a lot.
A lot, dude. We got a lot of highways, man. If you get 300 miles out of your truck or out of your vehicle, great. You're going to have to fill up before you come home.
Wait, Otto, have you watched the History Channel show Modern Marvels?
Dude, the last show I watched on History Channels, it was 2 dudes trying to buy ancient shell gas station signs from some dude in Oklahoma. The History Channel ain't been good since 1999.
Well, here's the thing about I have to bring this up because you were talking about highways. I saw on their superhighway episode that they specifically mentioned Texas. And is it true that Houston's investing money into their highways or not?
Dude, there is highway construction going on all the time. But I'll tell you what, the highway going into Houston straight up from the border at Laredo, that's Highway 77, 59, whatever. It will eventually be Highway 69. That will eventually connect with Kansas City, and then it will go straight to Toronto, and that will be the North American highway. That is the corridor. That's what they're talking about. That's the
Do you think that's going to
Trans-American
be
Highway
easy
right
way
there.
for Mexicans to go up to Canada?
Do you think there's not Mexicans in Canada right now? Do you think there's not Mexicans here? I'll tell you what.
No, I'm sure.
Drag your ass to a Sam's Club. Drag your ass to a Target. Drag your ass to a Costco on the weekend, and count American plates versus Mexican plates.
So, Otto, how do you react when you see all these illegal immigrants in your town on a daily basis?
Dude, I'll tell you what, straight up honest, the illegal immigrants in my town work their ass off. They do work, and I'm not talking about like, oh, they pick fruit and shit. Let me ask you guys. You guys are in the Northeast. You're in a completely different area than me. You enjoy seafood. Do you like seafood?
Yes, I love salmon. I love salmon.
All right. Do you ever eat oysters?
Oysters.
You know, you get some fine mama with some big old chichis on her, and you want to take her out, and you know what? Oysters makes that chick take her panties off. So, you ever eat oysters?
No.
You've never eaten oysters in your entire life?
Now I'm convinced to eat them.
You know Andrew's more a beans type of guy. Can of beans, cracked open.
Baked
Look, there's the laws of Leviticus and all that, but whatever. Nobody pays attention to that shit. How much does a plate of oysters in your town cost?
Probably like $100.
$100 for a plate of oysters. How many oysters you get on that plate?
12?
12 oysters. My best friend in this town collects oysters. He robs the sea for oysters. One bag of oysters is about 110 pounds. He gets paid about $35 per oyster, or per bag. That means every oyster coming out of the water is 10 cents.
Crazy.
You get 12 of them for $100. There's a problem there.
Listen, New York's got a lot of issues. We have a mayor who does not care to make things better, and
Dude,
and a Nassau County executive who needs to go to jail.
I've driven through New York. Your bridge, your George Washington Bridge, what the hell's up with that, man? You have like 13 million cars a day, cars, trucks, motorcycles, whatever, that go over that bridge, and half of them paid the toll, which is like what, like $28, $29? And
I know.
Like that happens every day. That happens. You got like 6 million people paying like $29 every day to go over that bridge, and you're bankrupt? Shit, you guys got problems, man.
Oh, that's nothing. The Verrazano Bridge is worse. Nick, tell Otto about the Verrazano Bridge.
Well, I'm a Staten Island resident, so I got a discount. But yeah, it's like $20 both ways. But the gas prices are insane in New York. Talking like $3.50 a gallon.
I got gas today. I got gas today. Today in South Texas, gas was $2.09, and I got it at not the most price-effective place. I got it at the place that was most convenient. It was $2.09 a gallon.
Right. So New York Mayor Bill de Blasio encourages us to use public transportation.
Yeah,
but
but
it's
Bill de Blasio doesn't count, dude. Bill de Blasio is like straight out of like the Lenin school of how to like screw the proletariat.
Is a bad guy. We're well aware that he's a crazy guy.
Nick, I gotta go.
What?
I have to go.
Why do you have to go? You gotta finish the 10 and 10.
Drive safe. Next week there will be 10 more.
Right. I'll go through it quickly. Number 7, Alec Baldwin. Number 6, Robert De Niro. Number 5, Bruce Springsteen. Number 4, Al Sharpton for being an anti-Semitic freak. Number 3, Cher.
Al Sharpton.
Yeah, you can talk about Al Sharpton in a sec. Number 3, Cher. Number 2, Barbara Streisand's been gaining weight because of Trump. And number 1, Madonna for blowing up the White House.
Right. Thanks, Andrew. Now, Otto, I gotta get your take on Madonna's moronic speech, and of course, Al Sharpton.
Come on now, Madonna's a joke. All right, look. She was the material girl. She made how much money for showing her hoo-hoo? Come on now. If you are anybody who's anything like somewhat rational and you listen to anything that Madonna says, you're a moron. You should not have gun rights. And dude, I love guns. I think everybody should have a gun. But if you actually listen to like what Madonna says, you shouldn't have a gun. I'm sorry, just because you pissed me off.
Madonna is a moron, and she should be in jail. I mean, she said she was thinking about blowing up the White House.
Yeah, I mean, but like, if you really want to get into it, we're going to put half of Hollywood into jail. Because seriously, like, look at Sarah Silverman, look at what's his name, Judd Apatow, look at Seth Rogen, all right, and they're the ones calling for like armed revolution, which is really kind of funny because they're the same ones like 6 months ago who were calling for like total fucking gun control, right? So here's the issue. You get people like Seth Rogen, you get people like Madonna, who's got, like a Weinstein manager and all that. You get Judd Apatow, you get Seth Rogen, you get Jonah Hill, and all these people start calling for revolution. At some point, they're going to say, hey, all these Jewish guys that are calling for revolution are the same ones calling to take away my guns. Something's wrong here. They're going to say that. It's happened before a bunch. And that's the problem, man. We got to, like, address that. There's got to be some sort of, like, I don't know, like tribal consensus or something about that because it's going to happen. It's happened before. I mean, it's happened before, like.
You mentioned Sarah Silverman. I mean, I'm sure you must have saw her ridiculous tweets about how she thought she was.
Dude, listen. You Bernie or bust people are being ridiculous. You Bernie or bust people are being ridiculous, and there's no refunds on your $27.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you mean by that? Regards to Sarah Silverman?
Sarah Silverman at the DNC when they were nominating Hillary and pushing Bernie out of the way, and they got up and her and Al Franken got up on stage. You can look this up on YouTube. People didn't listen to her, and she got kind of cranky, and she said, "Listen, you Bernie or bust people are being ridiculous." Jeez. And then she got like just lambasted and fucking roiled on stage, eh?
She's a fool.
Like
her tweets were stupid. She never saw a construction site before. What, has she never stepped outside of her house?
She's never stepped outside of her house. She's not stepped out of anything that's like outside of her comfort zone. And I mean, honestly, there's like a class issue there. She has not stepped into anything that the lower caste has ever dealt with. And I mean, define the lower caste as you will, but she does not deal with that. Same with somebody who else is in the papers right now and gets a lot of press for God knows why. But the only reason I understand is I would think one of two reasons, and one of them is because she angers everybody. But Lena Dunham, who the hell listens to her?
She's disgusting.
Seriously, who listens to her? Why does she rate so much press? It's one of two reasons. Because it's either A, a tribal loyalty, or B, she pisses people off when she talks.
Yeah, and I
think
she gets
honest to God, pissing people off when you talk, like incendiary radio, is way better ratings than this just like echo chamber radio, right? Like if you say that, oh, I like the color red. Well, fuck you, green is way better, you goddamn red-liking son of a bitch. Green is where it's at. Yeah, that goes for a long way. That like is, hey, did you hear what that guy said about red? He's weird, man. Oh, I like what the guy says about green. Yeah, that's way better than like everybody going, yeah, we should like smash the patriarchy and white men.
Absolutely. And Lena Dunham, she gets over because she's always taking her clothes off to see her disgusting body on her show, I guess. And people want to talk about it.
Who pays for that, dude? Dude, there is like an entire internet full of Russian porn. And I mean, you don't even have to go to like German porn or Japanese porn or regular good old American porn. You just go to the Russian porn and you can see anything that's either 10 times worse or 10 times better than Lena Dunham. She's like very middle of the road.
Listen, she's the award at the end of our year here on 2016. She said she gets the award for the most disgusting Inside and Out award because she's really a gross person.
She really is. I mean, listen, if you were gonna like have like a badass barbecue and like you're gonna have, I know that New York you've got different like area requirements and stuff. So if you've got like a really badass balcony and kind of a cool like living room that you can like bring people through, you can invite Lena Dunham over to like come and cook some like fajitas or something? You want her there? I can't believe you're not using free-range onions. Did you ever think about the Mayans in northern Arizona who grew those onions at just white man slavery rates? Baby.
Another terrible New Yorker would be Al Sharpton. I know you have a lot to say about him.
Al Sharpton's a goober, dude. He's a goober. He's a race pimp. His anti-Semitism is the least of anybody's worries.
Yeah, and he owes the federal government so much money, and he's the biggest racist.
Something like $740,000, right? It's like $740,000.
At least I thought it was in the millions. And tax evasion.
Last I heard, it was $740,000. It came out to be like something like 3.7 seconds of the national debt. But that was during Obama, before Trump decided to make America great again. And I know, like, our national debt is going down because, fuck, he's got nice hair.
So do you think Al Sharpton is, like, the biggest public racist in the public spotlight?
Absolutely not. No. There's bigger racists than Al Sharpton. Listen, to be the biggest racist, you don't have to be of that color or of that creed to like scream that, because you almost expect Al Sharpton to like scream nothing about black positivity and something. Where it gets bad is when you have somebody who looks like what they're not and screaming about that. Now let's go into something that just hit the news last week before Vault 7 and everything blew up. Anti-Semitism, all right? 4 days in a row on CNN on the late night shows. All right, so going from like what's her name? Erin McCutie Pie, the cute little Irish chick.
I don't watch CNN at all. It's fake news.
You should watch CNN because it's like listening to the enemy communications. It really is. It's like you're like spying on them. You're like seeing what
do you think's
the
worse,
enemy
before
is
you
saying.
continue? CNN or like people like Rachel Maddow on MSNBC?
No. Rachel Maddow, she's already got her thing laid out. CNN has to sell it to mom and grandpa who, they've got like the retirement plans. They're the ones who are like figuring out where their retirement is going to go and how they want to invest this and that. CNN's where it's at. MSNBC, that's already done. They already know that's like leftist town. Fox, buy gold and, buy Raytheon or whatever. But like, watch the commercials. CNN is nothing but like healthcare and like drug commercials. That's who they're marketing at. That's where it's at, right?
Demographic, like you said.
Go to a doctor's office. What's on the TV in the doctor's office? That TV that's way up high in the corner you can't change. It's CNN.
Yeah. Or The View. The View is out in the morning, of course.
Yeah, but it's going to be CNN because CNN is guaranteed to be non-offensive.
Yeah. People will go to the
and as to prove that CNN will be non-offensive, you guys hired, or not you guys, but CNN hired your greatest like clown prince, man. I mean, he's like the court jester. You guys hired Chris Cuomo, son of the governor, brother of the current governor, and appointed court jester. What the hell, man? Where are your people with pitchforks and torches?
Yeah, CNN is crazy. We got some comments here, Otto. Big Gator says, tell him, Otto. Road Dog says, shut him down, Otto. Road Dog says, good radio. Bacon Eater says, fat ass barbecue. Road Dog says, big ass fries. Hopper says, you're messing up his movie. He's only got 10 minutes left. And Chem Trailer says, rat face McDowell. What do you think? What do you think of those comments? Do you agree with them?
I think those gentlemen are all smoking the marijuanas or something like that. I disavow. I saw the. Those guys are my boys, man. Those guys are all right on the point, man. They all got their own view, and that's the beauty of UCY, right? Because you've got like a completely total different view. Because like, all right, straight up honest, I don't know if you know this, but surprise, I do a radio show on UCY too.
I'm very well aware. Very well aware.
Have you actually listened to it? It's pretty bad. it's me and my brother, and like we just yap. You know, but
I
like
have never
we're
listened to
knowledgeable
anything
about
else.
what we yap at. Say again?
I've never listened to your show. I apologize.
Dude, it's totally okay. Dude, my mom hasn't listened to my show.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people don't listen. I'm sure a lot of fan members don't listen to my show or anybody's show for that matter. Maybe if this big phone lines would work, we could get some more listeners.
I would not blame my show's non-listenership on the phone lines. I would totally blame it on the hosts. And actually just one host, because I got the other host. He's actually pretty damn good. He's like done his shit, you know. But yeah, I'm just a jackass who likes to talk. And you know what? I'm not any good unless I'm interrupting somebody. But that's like the beauty of it, right? Like we get the chance to talk, and we get the chance to yap.
The fans want more from you. But you were going to go on a little rant about the anti-Semitism nonsense in the news. If you want to pick up with that.
It's crap, man. Isn't it crap? I mean, look,
Absolutely.
for like 4 or 5 days, it was nonstop CNN. I mean, Alan Dershowitz was on the Don Lemon show, and he had 45 minutes to talk about how bad anti-Semitism was. And then like 2 days later, it comes out that the dude who actually sent all them bomb threats to, you know, like the Jewish daycare centers or whatever, was like a black dude who worked for a lefty newspaper who had a Jewish girlfriend. He was like just kind of pissed off at her. So
yeah,
like,
they're trying to frame
like
people. It's crazy.
80% of those went up, and then we still got to worry about that somebody knocked over the headstones in the cemetery. And then the dude who owns the cemetery came out and said, well, yeah, we just really haven't had the money for maintenance, and there was a windstorm, and a bunch of these got knocked over. It wasn't any Nazis or anything. All right, that came out, and guess what? There's been nothing about it. But before that, we had like 5 days nonstop of, isn't anti-Semitism horrible? And you know what? At this point, I get kind of pissed off, right? Because, well, honestly, like, you really start looking at numbers, and the numbers don't work out.
Yeah, it's all nonsense. It's all part of this. Let's make things up like this and make up the Russian hacker stuff in order to paint a bad picture. It's crazy.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the Russian hacker thing, that's bullshit, dude. What else did the Russians do? They stole my bike. Russians invented diarrhea. The Russians don't fucking turn off the light in the garage when they leave. I mean, what else? You know?
I mean, the whole Russian thing, the fact that CNN and MSNBC are getting away with this is pretty crazy because there's no factual...
So let me ask you something. I'm going to give you something that you might not be ready for, but what do you think about the WikiLeaks? And truly, if you really think about it on the inside, are you surprised? Did this WikiLeaks give you anything that you didn't know or didn't highly suspect before?
You're talking about the recent WikiLeaks release, like today?
Yeah, like the Vault 7 yesterday at like 8 a.m. kind of stuff. Did that
there's
release
nothing new there.
give you any sort?
It's doing what WikiLeaks always does, confirms what we were suspecting. And the thing about WikiLeaks is people say it's nonsense, but not once have they ever had to do a retraction or pull something.
They've never had to do a retraction, and they've never given anything that anyone who was paying attention to the entire situation, they've never given anything that they don't know already. All they've done is they put a name to what we already knew what was going on, right? That's all they've done. They've never said that, oh, well, guess what? And on top of that, we're like, making Oreo cookies with the aliens. No. We're spying on there. They're spying on us. We can listen to everybody's cell phone. I mean, come on now. When they said that the Nintendo Wii was like watching you 24/7 if the thing was off, and it would, make commercials based on if you said, oh, I'd like McDonald's, you would get like a Big Mac commercial like 5 years ago. Come on. How stupid are we? Yeah,
so people are surprised about, crazy things if they're not really paying attention.
So my question is if WikiLeaks, brought out this stuff and it's got this great big, emotion and there's this, upswell of media from the right, but if you really think about it, they didn't say anything that we didn't know. The question is WikiLeaks any good? is WikiLeaks just a bunch of bullshit to like kind of like stoke the fires?
WikiLeaks seems like a pretty credible source to me. I don't know.
It might be absolutely 100% credible. I'm not doubting anything that WikiLeaks says. What I'm saying is that in the end, WikiLeaks never says anything that we didn't already know. We already knew that the NSA was spying on us. We already knew that the government was not our friend. They just put a name. The government is not just, with the
we got our Otto. I got to interrupt you for a second. Our co-host John has joined the program. John, welcome.
What's up, dude?
What is going on? Hello.
All right, John, you got a lot to say to Otto. Interesting guy here. What do you want to ask him?
So Otto, I know you're a Trump supporter. So what do you think of this new healthcare bill?
I think the healthcare thing in the United States is a joke. I worked healthcare for many, many years. I worked emergency medicine, and I worked in an emergency room and an intensive care unit. So I got like hands-on experience on exactly how like billing works, down to how you change somebody's like bed sheets. Like, everything changes somebody's bed sheets to like pushing drugs to keep them alive. I'm there. And
so how many illegal aliens would you say use the emergency room as a primary care doctor? Because I think that's the real.
Okay, let me give you a story. Let me give you a story straight up. All right, I worked on the border. There's a city in Arizona called Nogales, and on the other side of the line, there's Nogales, Sonora. There's a hospital there, Holy Cross. It's about a mile and a half from the border. All right, that's a great big border. There is a wall there. All right, it's just great. It's actually like helicopter landing pads. These great big, like 16 by 24 pieces of metal, and they sit there, and that's what the wall is. Well, I got a dude who, with him, his wife, and his two little girls, walked from Durango, Mexico, to Nogales, Arizona. That's like 600 miles. No truck, no nothing. They walked that whole way. They hopped the fence. Wife and the two kids made it over. Dad made it over, and he rolled his foot off his ankle, right? Like he separated his foot from his leg. It was like hanging there, It was like, yeah, it was messy and blah, 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 but shit happens, right? So we got called from Border Patrol. We showed up. I stabilized this dude. I narc him up, and then we get on the road. Border Patrol signed my paperwork, which means that Border Patrol is no longer responsible for that guy. He is now Nogales Fire Department's problem. So legally, that dude was handed custody from the law enforcement agency to a transporting fire department and then given to a hospital. Now, there's something called a chain of custody, right? You got to have like, okay, I've got this and I give it to you. You have to sign this, and now you're responsible for this. And then if you give it to somebody else, they have to sign it, and they're responsible for it. And it can be traced all the way back. Well, that chain of custody is all kinds of fucked up and broke after you, like, three different agencies sign, and the boy goes to a hospital. He walked out.
Well, that's my thing. Listen, I'm a humanitarian. I like human rights. I think you should absolutely treat him. That's fucked up. But those Border Patrol agents should have handcuffed his ass to the gurney the same way you would if a suspect got hurt in the commission of any other crime. The idea that our border, we don't have any sovereignty over it, is insane. Can I ask you a question? What year was that?
That would have been 99. That would have been about 99 that happened.
So Bill Clinton was the president at that point.
Early Bill Clinton. It was not long after the Bush amnesty. I will say that because we still had abogado offices all over the place, which was the lawyers that sprang up, to make that 89, 90 amnesty thing run through. They made, I don't know, they charged $7,500 and they got you, a green card or something like that. So, I mean, like, it's a scam, right? Do you like lettuce on your cheeseburger? If you like lettuce on your cheeseburger, you need illegal aliens. Because if not, what is it? What's a cheeseburger? $4.99? $5.99? $6.99? If you get lettuce on it, it becomes $12.99.
Well, this is my argument to that. The prices at fast food are artificially low, and they're too freaking low. The price hasn't changed since like the 80s, And
yeah, but if
I'm completely okay with that.
really start dealing with the prices, the artificial prices of fast food, then you start messing with other things. And then you're going to start really realizing that the only true measures of wealth in this country are the price of fuel, the price of ammunition, the price of tobacco, and the price of gold. Those are the only things you can really manage what the value is.
My argument with the fast food is, we have a crazy problem in America where the lowest income quality, their biggest problem is obesity, because a salad is $12 and a cheeseburger is a nickel. That's an issue, and it's sideways, completely sideways in reality. And
it makes you think who benefits at that point, right? Because I'm with you, dude. There's a Walmart near my house, and every time I go to Walmart, I will see at least two 12-year-old boys that are probably 110, 115, 130 pounds overweight. They need a bra, and all them boys are worried about is getting some kind of Nintendo game or whatever, the gooey snack with the stuff inside is. Mom. And you know what my mind is? What's that boy going to do in 5 years when Uncle Sam says you got to pick up a rifle to fight off Chang?
Well,
because Chang is coming over. Chang is coming over, and he is going to liberate Los Angeles, and we need some fucking boots on the ground. Are we going to send them little fat boys out there?
No, I don't
like that.
Do you like lettuce on your cheeseburgers? That's what everyone wants to.
Dude, no.
No, of course not. I'm not a faggot.
Vegetables are for communists. Vegetables are neither meat nor cheese.
Well, I'd say that our economic system in America is the cornerstone. Instant gratification. Oh, look, a couch
I'll tell you what, one of the scariest videos I've ever seen in my entire life was McDonald's made a deal with Sinopec, which is the Chinese gas company, right? China is very much like Mexico. The state controls the gas. All the gas stations are the state company. There's no Shell, Exxon, Petro, whatever. It's all Sinopec. Well, McDonald's has a deal with them so they can open up a McDonald's, American-style McDonald's gas station at any one of the new ones that they open up throughout China. All right, so, just like a regular, drive-through gas station that's got like a Subway or a KFC or a Taco Bell or whatever. Same thing, And the cars in the drive-through, there's probably like 12 cars in the drive-through, and it had to be like $30 million worth of cars. I mean, no bullshit. It was Audis, it was Lamborghinis, it was Maybachs, it was Ferraris, and they had no idea how to use the McDonald's, right? They had to have like 3 employees outside, explaining on how to talk into the microphone outside, and this is how you read the menu outside. And I'm thinking, this is the amount of money.
To cut you off, but the show is about to wrap. But I wanted to thank you for coming on.
Gentlemen, if you are available on Tuesday night, I would love for you to come on with me and my brother, and we can yap and just BS about the same kind of stuff.
Definitely send John a message on Twitter. I think you guys got each other on there.
Okay, perfect.
All right, something like that.
All right,
gentlemen,
thanks,
thank you
Otto.
very much.
Thanks, Otto.
All right, so there was Otto and John. That was a nutshell. I just want to shout out to Road Dogging and Chemtrail. They were asking, where's the sports talk? Don't worry. Tons of sports next week to make up for this. Andrew, you did a terrible job. You're probably going to be fired. Very disgraceful that you hung up. John, hope everything went well.
What happens when I'm not here?
Last thoughts. We'll get to a lot of stuff next week, Beauty and the Beast, WWE, Mike and the Mad Dog, Canoan Coach of the Pros, World Baseball Classic. But real quick, thoughts on Brandon Marshall?
Love it. Great signing. I think we got him for a good deal. He's mature. He's a 1,000-yard receiver almost every year. Love it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. John, great that you were able to come on. And lots of sports next week for Road Dogging and Chemtrailer, who cannot wait for more sports talk. And Road Dogging, you seem like an absolute fun.
My name is S.M. Gibson.